Hey, Thomas, that's enough, babe. All right, the first problem is 15 plus m equals 37. How do I solve this problem? First, I got to write it down over here. I'm going to write 15 plus m equals 37. I'm giving you bigger numbers now. Noah, what's my first step? The Great Wall of Algebra. Next up, Jenny. Cool, I'll give you time to look at your notes. I'm glad you're using your notes. What is bothering my variable with the math, Jenny? Here's my variable. What's bugging it? Plus 15. So 15 plus and plus 15 is the same thing. You gotta get rid of the constant. Does that make sense? So I gave it to you this way so you could see that it's kind of the same thing. What's my next step, Chloe? No parentheses in this one. What's step 3 say? Look at your notes. What does step 3 say? Cade, can you help us out?
Step 3 says to pass out minus 15.
Why? Because it's the opposite. Is the inverse operation. Step 3 is identify the inverse operation. The inverse of plus 15 is minus 15. So I'm going to do that on both sides. Now that cancels out. I'm left with 1m. And I'm just going to do what it says on the other side. 7 minus 5, friends? 3 minus 1? Okay. So I'm pretty sure m is 22, but what am I going to do to make sure, Thomas?
What are you going to do to make sure? You go over to like the other side of your whiteboard, check it out.
Everybody should rewrite it. So good job, Thomas. 15 plus m equals 37. Now what?
I can rewrite it with m equals 22, so 15 plus 22 equals 37. Stack them up.
Then you stack them up. I love that you're calculating to double check your answer. Excellent job. 5 plus 2? 2 plus 1? All right, this side is 37 and this side is 37. My equation is balanced. Thumbs up if you got that one right. Awesome, that's like everybody, I think. Chloe, no? Yeah? Cade? Twist your straps, buddy. Okay. Or get a new mask, but twist them both up so that that stays up over your nose, bud. Thanks, darling. Okay, I'm gonna do this in a different color. Z minus 43 equals 258. I'm pretty sure nobody could do this one in their head. See how I'm kind of showing you now that you gotta, huh?
I did this one in my head.
I don't believe it. All right, first step.
Great. Wow.
The Great Wall of Algebra. I love that. Hilder, what's my second step? Identify. What's, I'm sorry. Holden, because you sit right next to each other. Not Hilder, but Holden. Holden, what's my next step?
You're gonna cross out the variable or no.
I'm gonna ask, what is bothering the variable? What is bothering my variable? What's bothering my variable is minus 43, which helps me understand that I need to now add 43 because step 3 says use the inverse operation. What's 8 plus 3?
Let's say
11. 8 plus 3.
Oh, 11.
What's 5 plus 4 plus 1?
10.
10. What's 2 plus 3? I'm sorry, what's 2 plus 1, which is 3? So I'm pretty sure it's 301.
Yeah.
Let's find out. What am I going to do to check, Dylan?
Rewrite.
Good. Now what?
Say, instead of C, 301.
Okay.
And then
Stack it up. So I'll say 301 minus 43. Friends, what's 1 minus 3? You can't do it. So I'm going to borrow and I'm going to make this a 29 and make that an 11. What's 11 minus 3? What's 9 minus 4? What's 2 minus nothing? All right, so I did balance my equation. This is 258. It's equal to 258. I am balanced and good to go. Last one. Remember for division, I said you should write them both at the same time. So I'm going to do my y minus divided by 6 equals 8 here. And I'm going to go ahead and rewrite that original equation right away because it can get a little confusing of remember what the original equation was once we start doing all this work. I highly recommend that as a good step to keep yourself organized. Ariel, first step. The wall of algebra. Tanner, second step.
All right, so you guys see what's bothering the variable.
Which is what, Tanner?
Divided by 6.
Divided by 6 is what's bothering my variable. That helps me figure out my inverse operation. I mean, what's my inverse operation? Times 6. So I'm going to do a parentheses 6 here. I'm going to do a parentheses 6 here. Now what? Winter. Cross them out. Winter goes like this. Cross them out. 6 and 6 cancel out. 6 divided by 6 cancels out. I'm left with 1y. 8 times 6, friends.
48.
48. We're pretty sure this is going to be 48. See how kind of messy and confusing that can be, but I already have my equation written over here, so I'm not going to get messed up. Highly recommend that. So now I'm going to do 48 divided by 6.
Well, I already did it.
First of all, cover your nose. Second of all, no, we're not going to use a calculator. You could use your multiplication table, though, if you needed to. Don't forget, you could go down your 6s until you see 48. Once you see 48, you can find the partner, which is 8.
Yeah.
That works for me, too.
6 and 8 went on an 8, and they came, I don't remember. Yeah.
Okay, here's another thing. Here's another strategy. You don't know your 6, you don't know how many times 6 goes into 48. You think it's supposed to be 8 because it says so over here, right? So you could say, well, I don't know what 6 times 8 is, but I know what 6 times 5 is. What do I have to add to 5 to get to 8? 3. You can use the distributive property. Do you know what 6 times 5 is? 30. Do you know what 6 times 3 is? 30 plus 18 is 48. Couple of strategies, but use a strategy. Find something. Use a multiplication chart. Do something. What do you need, D? You could multiply 6 and 8 and figure that out. You could just count up by 6s. You could count up by 6s to see how many times it took you to get to 8. 6, 12, 18. What's next?
4.
What's next?
30.
30 is next. What's 6?
34.
And then you can start counting by 6s if you need. 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. Not there yet. 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. I'm finally there. It took me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 counts to get there. Many strategies to figure this out. The point is, don't just write down 8 equals 8 and assume you're awesome. I think you're awesome, but everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah.
Question.
Comment, but if you make it super easy.
Okay.
You can also just do 6 times 7 and add 6.
Yes, you could do 6 times 6 and add 2 6s if you needed to.
Yes.
Take your pictures, make your corrections, close your screens, open your comp books. Tanner?
Would you say it's okay if you don't add the what's it called, like the hash? Well, these right here. Look, if you don't add these, because I forgot to.
The Great Wall of Algebra or the equal signs?
What's that called?
Parentheses.
The parentheses, yeah.
That's fine.
All right. Are we doing multiplication equations?
Yes, we are finally almost done, friends. We're going to do multiplication equations today. I'm waiting for screens to be down. Comp books are open. We're going to write multiplication equations. Just like previous days, we're going to do a couple of examples for our comp books. We've got something to look at to reference if we get confused. I'm going to do a whiteboard challenge that's a little shorter than yesterday. And then as you finish your whiteboard challenge, I have a maze for the learning activity. You can work with a partner of your choice as you guys finish your whiteboard challenges. But please be smart about your partner. Pick somebody you're going to get work done with, not somebody you're going to mess around with, okay? Here we go. When I write an equation like this, tell me what I'm saying. What does that say, D? 5 times Z equals 25. Do you know what Z is yet?
No.
Some people are saying no because it's a variable. Some people have already done the math in their head, but I'm going to show you the procedure you can use. So now you can figure it out no matter what crazy numbers I give you. Yes, it is. But I'm going to show you the procedure so that you can figure out no matter what crazy numbers I give you. Okay. Okay. What is my first step always? Who wants to say it crazy? Anybody gonna say it crazy for me? Dylan, give it a go. The Great Wall of Algebra. Always the first step. What is always the second step? Emilia? What is bothering my variable, Amelia? Times 5, which tells you right away, okay, the inverse operation of times is division. So what you're going to do, and you know what? I'm going to pause right here. I'm going to say this is another great time to go ahead and write 5Z equals 25 over here for your check. And I stopped and I thought about that because here's what it's going to look like all of a sudden. I'm going to go divided by 5 on this side and divided by 5 on this side. Suddenly, this looks like our division equations, and that's where it gets really confusing for sixth graders. You're like, oh my gosh, am I multiplying? Am I dividing? What am I doing? Okay. What did we do yesterday when we had numbers stacked up like this? Ariel? They cross out. This is saying 5 divided by 5. What's 5 divided by 5?
0.
No, not 0. Okay. It's just like a habit. Like you guys are just saying it out of habit because you're not actually thinking it through. We just got to break that habit. Let's all try it again. 5 divided by 5 is?
1.
Good. 1. It crosses out. When you're left with 1Z, you just write the Z. You don't have to write the 1Z. You only need the coefficient to tell you that you've got more than 1. If you see 1, you have 1. If you have what? Then you have half of a Z.
So you just write a 7 because you take the stick, the bottom stick of the Z, and it's a 7. So it's half of the Z. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. Hilda is trying to convince us that now it's 7 because half of a Z looks like this. That's not, no, we're off track. Back on track.
Yeah, you guys don't be like me.
Okay, so I'm going to spin back a little bit. 5 divided by 5 is 1Z. Are you with me?
Yes.
What does that equal over here? This says 25 divided by 5. What do we think that is? 5. Do you see why I went ahead and wrote my original equation twice? Because that's a little confusing to pick out what the original was. Really, really important with multiplication and division, just because they look so similar when you've started to solve them. Okay. What do I need to do next? Dylan? Parentheses? Why is it so important to use parentheses right now? D? Otherwise, it's going to look like 55 when you substitute. Is the answer 55 equals 25? Will you please promise me that on your assessment, you're going to stop right here and see what it looks like? Because I get assessments turned in with this kind of answer all the time. And I'm like, you've gotten all the way down to this. Look, it says 55 equals 25. Nobody thinks 55 is ever going to equal 25. Do you want $55 or do you want $25? Okay. You must have parentheses in this situation. Must, 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 must.
Wait, can it be in either number? Does it have to be?
It can be in either number. Usually we do it on the second because of the distributive property, because then it looks like the distributive property. 5 times 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Look how I double checked. I didn't trust myself. You shouldn't either. How do you feel about that?
Great.
Good. Let's try another. You kind of see why we did division first and multiplication second.
Yeah. It's harder.
It's harder, and you guys are, yeah. I think it's nice to end on something simpler.
And because multiplication has a division class.
Yeah.
We already have.
I'm going to write this equation twice right away. Here's my solve, here's my check. Because I, friends, am super organized. That is my superpower.
Are you? Well, my power is super unorganized.
Yeah, I have superpowers.
You're the opposite of Mr.
And they say there's no such thing as a stupid question.
Are you the opposite of Mr. Mean? No, I mean organized.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. So that's Mr. Meme. His superpower is being really creative.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree I'm not that creative. I'm a little more linear in my thinking.
What about me?
But I'm super organized, so I can get, I take his wacky ideas and I figure out how we're going to accomplish them. So we're actually really good teammates in that way. So you don't have to be just like somebody to be a good worker with them. You just have to have skills that complement each other. Does that make sense? Sometimes you want to work with someone like Mr. Meme and Mr. Burr love to work with each other because they're both kind of wacky and creative and they come up with the most amazing ideas ever. Implementing them is harder for them because they don't have one of those teammates that can help them put it together and figure out how to make it work. Make sense?
So it's the 3 team right there. Mr. Bird, Mr. Meme, and you. So like they think of this wacky idea that we
And I'm like, great wall of algebra, friends. Me and Ms. Barry are more the problem solver types. You know, Miss Webb can kind of dovetail in between everybody. She's kind of balanced.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll have a friend that's balanced.
What about me, Miss Humphrey?
You have to decide your own superpower, friend. I'm not going to go around giving them out.
Opposite. I want to be anti-organized.
Well, you bet. After this assessment, you can be anti-organized, but be organized on this assessment. Okay.
I'll be organized.
All right. We have gone off track again. 3, 2, 1. Focus. Here we go. So for example, if you were homesick right now, you might want to be fast forwarding through this ridiculous conversation and getting back to the math. Zip, 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 zip. Okay, here we go. Great wall of algebra. What's bothering my variable, Levi? Times 3 is bothering my variable. Kimmy, what's the opposite of times 3? Dylan, I'm asking Kimmy about Kimmy. Kimmy, what is the opposite of multiply by 3? Well, let me say it this way. Looking at me. The opposite of add is subtract. What's the opposite of multiply? Divide. Okay. So what is the opposite of times 3? Stop it. Oh, wait. Divided by 3. It's really important that when I'm talking to somebody, we give them the thinking time they need. Often when a teacher talks to you, your brain freezes up and you just sort of panic. Let them get through it. Don't bail them out. It's taking away their thinking time. It's disrespecting them. Cool? Okay. Thomas, you gotta stop biting your nails, buddy, because you can't bite your nails through a mask, can you? I can't help you. You gotta just let it be. Cool? Okay. All right. What is 3 divided by 3?
Y.
Just y. What is 24 divided by 3?
8.
8. We're pretty sure. We'll find out. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say, cool, 38 equals 24. What did I forget? Parentheses. Okay, I'm going to double check. What's 3 times 8?
24.
I checked it on my multiplication chart. I counted up from a number that I knew. I know that 24 equals 24. Cool. Do thumbs up if you want one more. Thumbs down if you feel good and want to head to the whiteboard challenge. So down, 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 up, down, down, sideways. You're ambivalent. Sideways, up, up, down, 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 up. Okay, enough ups that I want one more example. No, now you can choose. But you can choose if you want to write it down or not. You can choose if you want to work it out on your whiteboard or not. 6m equals 42. I'm going to rewrite that over here. Hey, do you need to take a walk and take a break? Do you need to take a walk and take a break? Uriel, turn your body and don't distract people, please. Let's work this problem out. I'm going to have you solve it in a minute. You can choose now. Do you want another example in your notebook? Do you want to do it on your whiteboard? Who needs a minute? Okay, one more minute. Okay, first up, let's see. Great wall of algebra. Second step, Winter. What's bothering our variable, Winter? Multiply by 6. Kimmy, I'm coming back to you. What's the opposite of times 6? Divided by 6. Brooklyn, what's 6 divided by 6? 1, which means I only have one m left on that side of my equation. Let's see who I think. Melanie, what is 42 divided by 6? Do you think it's 7? Do we trust Melanie?
Yes. No, I do not.
Well, you guys are foolish. I don't trust Melanie. Melanie, you look untrustworthy to me. You look shifty. Huh. So what am I going to do if I don't trust Melanie? I'm going to check it. I'm going to say 6 parentheses 7. Oops. Trying to do my parentheses in a different color without changing markers in my hand. Didn't really work. All right. I don't know 6 times 7, but I know 5 times 7. What's 5 times 7?
30.
35. So I'm going to add 7 more. 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. I have now double checked. And Melanie, I apologize. Maybe I should have trusted you, but I probably won't next time either. Feeling good about this?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what's going to happen next. I'm going to put some problems on the board. Can everybody listen for just one more minute? Can everybody listen for one more minute? Put your marker down. Can you put that away from Ariel? Okay. When you finish the problems on the board, if you're among the first couple, I'll give you the answers and you can help out with the checking. Once enough of you are done, I'll take over again so that you can start working on your learning activity with a partner of choice. The learning activity is a multiplication division maze. Just like the addition subtraction one, you're going to color in the arrow and find your way around. There should be 12 problems. So I've given you a solve and check page with 12 problem spaces on it. You must solve and check for each one of them, even if you can do it in your head. When you're done, you're going to turn it into me and we'll see what time is left. But I think we're getting a little short on time. Questions? Dylan, do you have a related question now? Okay. All right. So I'm going to put these problems on the board.
Are we going to Young America?
Can you grab those for me? I just dropped them.
I need one. Yeah, I can see the answer.